and references being shared across the community, organized for quick browsing. Use it to spot patterns, pull links, and build your own research list. Qnotables.com. Browse the notables, verify the facts, stay informed. All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Board's March 5, 2026, Kurdish forces enter Iran amid wider conflict. Reports from regional sources indicate Kurdish fighters have launched ground operations inside Iranian territory as the broader Iran conflict intensifies. Coverage circulating across defense channels says the fighters are receiving backing tied to U.S. and Israeli strategic coordination in the region. Iranian state media is portraying the move as a foreign-supported incursion as fighting expands beyond air and missile strikes. Congressman Clay Higgins tells Ellison to resign. A heated moment erupted during a House oversight hearing when Louisiana Congressman Clay Higgins told Minnesota Attorney General Ellison directly that he should resign. The confrontation came during questioning about large-scale fraud investigations tied to programs in Minnesota, with lawmakers pressing state officials about oversight and accountability. U.S. Airborne Nuclear Command aircraft active over the Gulf. Defense observers tracking military aviation activity report that a U.S. Airborne Nuclear Command aircraft operated over the Persian Gulf this week as tensions escalate. These aircraft serve as mobile command centers for U.S. strategic forces and are often deployed during major geopolitical crises to ensure continuity of command. Italy announces air defense support for Gulf allies. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni announced that Italy will send air defense systems to Gulf nations following expanding hostilities with Iran. The move is part of a broader European effort to reinforce regional defenses and protect energy infrastructure and international shipping lanes in the Persian Gulf. Byron Donalds presses Tim Walz over fraud timeline. Florida Congressman Byron Donalds sharply questioned Minnesota Governor Tim Walz during a congressional hearing over when state leaders first became aware of major fraud allegations tied to Minnesota programs. Lawmakers are examining how oversight failures may have allowed the scheme to grow before intervention occurred. Trump. U.S. will escort oil tankers during Iran war. President Donald Trump announced that the United States will escort and ensure oil tankers moving through the Persian Gulf during the ongoing conflict with Iran. The policy aims to stabilize global energy shipments through the Strait of Hormuz as war risk insurance costs rise and shipping companies face heightened threats. Iran internet outage extends past 100 hours. Internet monitoring organizations report that Iran has experienced a nationwide connectivity shutdown lasting more than 100 hours. Data from Global Monitoring Network shows traffic dropping dramatically across the country, significantly restricting communications and the flow of information during the conflict. Senate hearing incident involving Tim Walz. Video from a Senate hearing shows a confrontation involving a protester that ended with Capitol Police removing the individual from the room. Police reports say the protester suffered a broken hand during the altercation. Senator Tim Walz has faced questions about the incident as the footage circulates online. Scavino message signals more military strikes. White House advisor Dan Scavino posted a message stating that the hardest hits are yet to come from the U.S. military. The statement is being widely shared online as the administration signals that additional military operations may follow in the expanding conflict with Iran. Reports of strike attempt on Bagram Air Base. Regional security reporting indicates an attempted strike targeting Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, with Pakistani involvement cited in several reports. Afghan authorities say defensive measures were activated around the base as tensions continue along regional borders. Spanish farmers stage massive protests. Large farmer protests have erupted across Spain with tractors and demonstrators filling major roadways and public squares. Protest organizers say the demonstrations target European Union climate regulations and the Agenda 2030 policy framework, which farmers argue is placing severe economic pressure on agricultural operations. College football legend Lou Holtz dead at 89. Legendary college football coach Lou Holtz has died at the age of 89. Holtz led the University of Notre Dame to a national championship in 1988 and later became one of the most recognizable analysts in college football broadcasting. Tributes from across the sports world continue to pour in.
At shop.isawaya.com, everything you buy supports acun.top, the place where people talk freely no matter what. Check out our Acun Honey Pot, a jar of yummy honey that's as strong as your voice. Put it on toaster and tea. It's not just honey, it's freedom in every bite. Then there's Acun Butter, a smooth handmade skin cream that makes you feel good while you fight for what's right. Awesome wooden pieces for display only. Hang them up or set them out. They're for showing off Acun's tough spirit. Want to help even more? Get a proto membership. So go to shop.isawaya.com now and grab some goodies. Help acun.top keep free speech alive, and let's keep the ideas flowing loud and free.
All reports can be found on Q Research or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here.
From the Q Research Board's March 5, 2026. Arkansas, man on trial wins local election. An Arkansas man currently on trial for killing the man accused of raping his daughter has won election in his local race. Court records indicate the case drew widespread attention in the community, and voters selected him despite the ongoing legal proceedings. House votes to block release of misconduct reports. The U.S. House of Representatives voted 357 to 65 to block the release of congressional sexual misconduct and harassment investigation records. The vote effectively halts a push to publicly disclose the materials while lawmakers debate how such records should be handled. Additional U.S. death reported after Kuwait drone strike. Military officials announced an additional American death linked to a drone strike targeting a U.S. facility in Kuwait. Defense statements say the attack is being investigated as part of the growing series of incidents connected to the wider Middle East conflict. Trump says data centers will not raise power prices. President Trump stated that the rapid construction of AI data centers will not increase electricity prices for American consumers. White House messaging says technology companies will be responsible for securing the energy infrastructure required to power the facilities. Trump calls Iran war success 15 out of 10. President Trump described U.S. performance in the Iran war as a 15 on a scale of 10. The remark came during public comments defending the administration's decision to launch strikes and expand military operations in the region. Trump praises Venezuela energy cooperation. President Trump posted that Venezuelan leader Delcy Rodriguez is working well with U.S. representatives and that Venezuelan oil production is beginning to flow again. The message comes as Washington explores renewed energy cooperation tied to global supply concerns. Clinton questioned about past testimony. Video resurfacing online shows former President Bill Clinton being asked whether he had ever lied while under oath. The exchange is drawing renewed attention amid ongoing public interest in legal testimony connected to historical investigations. Nancy Mace moves to subpoena Pam Bondi over Epstein files. Congresswoman Nancy Mace announced plans to subpoena U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi as lawmakers push for additional disclosures connected to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Congressional inquiries are focusing on the release and handling of related records. Maxwell testimony references visits to Clinton home. Statements attributed to Ghislaine Maxwell reference visits to the Clinton residence in Chappaqua, New York, describing the visits as social invitations. The comments have resurfaced in coverage tied to renewed scrutiny of Epstein-related testimony. White House message celebrates military action. A White House social media post highlighted recent military operations with the phrase, "booms courtesy of the red, white, and blue." The message reflects the administration's public messaging surrounding ongoing combat operations overseas. Putin warns Russia could cut gas to Europe. Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that Russia could immediately halt natural gas supplies to the European Union. The statement comes as energy tensions continue between Moscow and European governments following years of sanctions and geopolitical conflict. Putin calls LNG tanker attack a terrorist act. President Putin described an attack on a Russian liquefied natural gas tanker as a terrorist act. Russian officials say the vessel was targeted by Ukrainian forces, marking a significant escalation involving energy infrastructure at sea. Allegations surface about historical U.S. tick program. Claims circulating online allege that a historical U.S. bioweapons research program involved the release of ticks connected to Lyme disease research. Congressional documents show lawmakers previously requested government reviews of Cold War-era biological programs involving insects and disease transmission.
Every voice matters. The power of free speech is more important than ever. Imagine a place where you can share your thoughts freely, explore new ideas, and engage in meaningful conversations anonymously. With online anonymity, you can express yourself without fear of judgment. It's about freedom, creativity, and connection. Join the conversation that matters. Embrace your voice. Celebrate your freedom. Visit 8kun.top today. That's 8kun.top.
That's all for now. Stay alert, stay informed, and never hand your thinking over to anyone on a screen, including me. God bless you, God bless our troops,